Welcome to The Good Ride. I'm James Beastie, and today we're talking about the Burton Ion Step-On. Looking at our old review at a demo with limited access to it, I thought we could do better. I spent hard-earned Good Ride dollars to buy this. I've ridden this with a wide variety of boards, including the Burton Grillmaster 160, the Capita Pow Glider 162, Stranda Tree Surfer 162, Yes Standard Unink 156, Capita BSOD 159, and the Amplid Singular 158, to mention a few. I also tested a lot of bindings with this, including my primary, the Union Atlas Step-On, the Burton Genesis Step-On Reflex, the Burton Genesis EST Step-On, the Nitro Step-On, and many others. I've also done same-day tests with the Burton Ion on one foot and a competing boot on another. And often after testing my Burton Ion Step-On boots, along with a wide variety of Step-On bindings, I would get back on my Union Force bindings and Nitro Team boots to see how they felt same day. Just so you know, this is an honest, objective review for you, the consumer, with zero brand oversight from Burton. No money exchanged hands to do this review. And if you like honest, objective reviews like that, then please support our sponsor, Blower Board Shop. They've been selling to snowboarders longer than most resorts have been allowing snowboarders on the hill. They're an amazing shop, and they're doing a lot to create a very strong online presence. So give them a look and click through our links and buy from them. It would help us greatly. When it comes to weight, these are 2 pounds, 9 ounces. It's only a few ounces more than the regular Ion. So when combined with the Burton Genesis Step-On at 1 pound, 14 ounces, which is super light, and the Union Atlas Step-On, which is 1 pound, 15 ounces, also super light. Overall, it's a lighter setup than your average snowboard boot binding combo. Let's talk about fit for a size 9 E. E is on the border of being wide. Some regular boots fit me, some don't. And Burton is a little narrower in Step-Ons. This fit me perfectly for a size 9. So Burton fits really true for a size 9. But in terms of width, I had to go get these heat molded to press into the side of this liner to create space for the width of my foot, and the liner heat molds really well. But if I were just to put these on and go riding, my feet would cramp up, they'd hurt. It was hard to wear these around the house until I heat molded them. And then once I heat molded them, and this liner is very heat moldable, they worked perfect. So if you're a C or a D in width, these will fit great, most likely right out of the box. If you're an E, then you need to go get them heat molded. If you're a double E or triple E, you need to get the wide version of this. You'll be much, much happier. If you're very narrow, like an A or a B, you might greatly benefit from J-bars like this that Burton provides that have Velcro here, and they actually attach to the inside of the boot here. There are Velcro patches down in there that are very hard to pick up, very hard to see. I don't think you can see it, but you put these down in there. They basically work like this and tighten up around your ankle. And if you have narrow ankles and you're more a normal width, these could really help. So let's talk lacing system and getting this on and off. So first up, you have this strap that laces around the liner. The liner has a really cool double Velcro thing going on for it right here that really holds well, and it works with a wide variety of calf sizes, so you can go really wide or really narrow, and this Velcro is pretty much gonna hold. I've never had one of these come loose on me. Then you have dual speed lace, just like a regular Ion boot. Nice places to fit the speed lace holders. And then you have a single boa here that emulates basically the ankle strap of a traditional binding, and it's slow on, but very fast off. So getting in and out is convenient, but there are much faster boots for getting in and out. Now let's talk flex. This is a pretty stiff boot. When you're set in here and connected to the high back like this, you have such exceptional leverage and response that it outperforms just about any other boot binding setup out there, no matter how stiff and how responsive. This is almost there with hard booting. That's how responsive it is. So I found that I had to loosen up the top a little bit, and I really didn't need much in terms of response. As this boot gets softer and breaks in, I might be able to tighten the top a little more, but it was so responsive that it made mid-wide boards like the Yes Standard on Ink and the Amplid Singular turn like they were made for size 9s. When I got out of these, got on my Union Force and Nitro Team TLS and took the same run with that boot binding combination after riding this, it was mind-blowing how much less that very responsive binding boot combination was in comparison to this. Suddenly the board felt like a mid-wide again. So if you're pairing up with a board that's a little too hard for you to turn because your boots are too small, this is gonna be great. But if you have a board that turns well already for you with the boots bindings you have, you might wanna look towards something that's a lot less responsive because the ions could overpower it. Even with this top loose, it sometimes made the board feel a little too twitchy. It was overpowering it response-wise. The only thing though is when you're connected to that high back, it really limits your tip to tail movement. And I feel too locked in. I feel much more stress on my joints from hip all the way down to the ankle. So I had to go from 21.5 to about 21 for it to feel comfortable again, to feel more normal. But I still don't like that locked in feel. Some will be okay with it, but some of you like me won't be and won't like that feel. The flex retention technology is not really there in comparison to, let's say, like the SLX or a lot of other boots like my Nitro Team TLS that have an articulating cuff here to prevent shell distortion and retain the flex, along with a very stiff spine that retains the flex of the shell as well. This has rubber in the spine, so that helps a little bit, and it's well built. But you can see there are already some indentions from forward flexing from just a few days of riding. And over time, let's say at 100 days, these are gonna be really soft. I know this because I've had the regular Ion with almost the same design. Very little has changed over the years, and Davies owned these as well the last few years, and they lose their flex. But if you ride 30, 40 days a year, these will last you a few seasons. Now let's talk traction and shock absorption. You have a Vibram insole here, whatever the hell you want to call it, and it just works well in any type of weather. It has excellent traction. This tread is going to last a long time. And there's ample cushioning from heel to toe without feeling too cushy. You still have some board feel underneath you here. But the shock absorption goes further than just the insole. Look at this liner. They put like a nice soft EVA foam bottom. You really feel this. If you add a good custom orthotic, other than the one that Burton gives you, which isn't that great, like the Footprint insole technology, King Foam Orthotic Elite, or the Fluid X versions of these, or the Game Changers, in comparison to this thin little thing, if you don't have a high instep and you can handle a little reduced volume inside like I can, it drastically improves your shock absorption and makes it a better overall experience underfoot. So pretty impressed with shock absorption overall, especially when paired with most of the step-on options. You have all this soft EVA foam, and even though the Atlas is stiffer EVA foam in the back, it's still very shock absorbent. And when it comes to the Ion's footprint, it's 29.6 centimeters from the front to the heel, but you can see it tapers in pretty well. And Burton is one of the best when it comes to having a reduced footprint in the sizes that it's most needed in. For example, a 10, 10.5, 11, 11.5, 12, 12.5, 13, etc. They reduce the footprint so there's less chance of toe and heel drag on the mountain. And Burton was the first to do this. When Burton first started doing reduced footprint technology, most of their competitors were a full size bigger. So you are drastically reducing the chances of toe and heel drag, which absolutely sucks, can put you in the hospital. Breaks wrists, breaks shoulders, ruins your day. Nowadays, the rest of the industry has caught up to Burton and they're getting pretty close. So oftentimes now these are about the same size or a half size smaller on the outside than a lot of other competitors out there. But it's a great thing to have and they're still the industry leader. So overall, I feel that Ion step-ons are incredibly responsive, incredibly powerful. They're incredibly easy on and off. That's why you get them. I don't even need to talk about that shit. But they do have some issues. They make you feel really locked in. To some like me, they're too responsive for most boards out there that you're gonna wanna ride. And as far as the whole quick release thing goes, I think this is one of the best options out there, but it's proprietary tech. You have to buy boots, you have to buy bindings. None of the bindings have adjustability, but man, you can just step in and go. And even with the addition of the wave range and high shot step-on line, I still feel that the Burton Ion step-on and Photon step-on are the best option in Burton's line. They provide more symmetry in terms of response. They also provide more ankle support, and for the Ion, better adjustability. I'm also recommending the Nitro Profile Step-On and Venture Step-On a lot because they offer excellent adjustability, ankle support, symmetry of response as well. And I find along with the Ion, those are the best 4 step-on boots I've encountered in my testing. For me, I'm sticking with my Nitro Team and Union Force. I like that better, but as this technology evolves and as the bindings get more stance width and boot to binding adjustability, if they can figure out a way to make this feel less locked into the high back, you have more range of motion like you do with a normal boot and binding combination, this could work because you still get that same amazing flex underfoot that you do with real bindings and you don't with Clue and Supermatics, and you get that extra response. This could be amazing. So there you have it.